So is crypto winter over in your opinion? Where are we in this market cycle?
So look, I think winter ended a long time ago, and spring even ended in June, and I think we're halfway through summer. The problem is people don't really understand these four seasons. So winter is the downdraft, right? That's where the wipeout happens. That was the down 74% for Bitcoin and a lot of other things get whacked. And then spring is not like immediately back up. It's really, as spring is, cold and rainy and a little bit of windy. And so you just kind of bounce along the bottom and kind of, but you stop going down. And then summer is where people start to get enthusiastic again, and you get a slow drift up. So if you look, over the past year, we've really had this kind of slow drift up, not in everything, but generally speaking, there's been some nice recovery in prices. But interest is coming back. And actually, the reason I'm in Vegas, I'm at the Filecoin event, and it's amazing compared to last year. I mean, 20% as many people, but the people who are here, super talented, super enthusiastic, super excited about building things, and lots of positive energy, even though there's fewer people. And it's interesting, I went to Permissionless a couple weeks ago as well in Austin. Same thing. Numbers were way down. I mean, like off the charts down. And yet the people who were there, really talented, really focused on building. It was very different than the Bitcoin conference, right? The Bitcoin conference still had decent numbers, but so many of the people at the Bitcoin conference are literally individuals who may have been speculating in Bitcoin, but they're not really builders. They're not really engaged in that community. They're not developers. Here, I spent last night at dinner with developers, like talking about projects. And I'm not a techie, so I kind of try to play catch up. I'm a financial services guy, but it's really, as an investor, super exciting to hear the enthusiasm and the positive energy around what people are able to build, and it gets me pretty excited for fall. So fall in the 4-year 4-season cycle is what you really want. Fall is where you get the big parabolic moves. It's what happens post halving, and what the halving does is it catalyzes movement. And if you think about it, the Bitcoin halving, it's hard coded that the block rewards get cut. So if you think about it, if you're a miner, if you're one of the people securing the proof of work network, your costs are fixed, electricity, machines, and now your revenues just got cut in half. Wait a minute, I'm out of business. Well, what happens historically is the price rises. So the fair value of the network actually adjusts to reflect the fact that you got to pay your miners to secure the network. Well, that movement, interestingly, attracts people, particularly guys. I talk about this all the time, right? We're hunters at heart, and we see movement. Like, you're sitting, you're with somebody and somebody moves or somebody goes by. Your eyes follow it. It doesn't mean you're not happy who you're with. It's just, that's what happens. And I joke, if it's not moving, I can't see it, right? You ask me to go find something in the fridge. If it ain't moving, I can't see it. So that movement brings other people into the markets, and that causes a bigger increase, and it brings capital and interest and media and attention. And so that built-in mechanism to move prices. And look, if I'm a former wrestler, I wrestled in high school, right? Glory days. But I enjoyed it. And my coach had this great line, where the head goes, the body follows. So if you push someone's head to the left, they're going to the left. You push them to the right, they're going to the right. if Bitcoin surges because the halving cycle, everything else is going to kind of come along with it. Now, everything else that's good, right? Bad stuff, scammy stuff, yeah, that probably should die. But the good stuff will come along for the ride. And then people who really develop, and I know you guys have a lot of Algorand fans, right? And I'm kind of psyched. I had this experience where a couple weeks ago I was doing something on another podcast, and they asked me specifically about Solana. And I said, look, I made a lot of money in Solana. I actually kind of like Solana. I was hanging out with Kyle last night, and he's the reason we got into Solana. And I said, but I don't own a lot anymore. I sold a lot, and I got concerns. And he said, well, what are your concerns? I said, well, my understanding, and again, I'm not a technician, I'm not a computer scientist. My understanding is it's not 100% accurate. Right? So if you're doing accounting, you need 100% accurate. And they're like, well, that's been fixed. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's been fixed. And what I said, and this is kind of funny, I said, in the past, people would put a transaction out and there'd be an outage and it wouldn't settle. And so I used the word vaporized. Oh my God, people got so pissed off. They're like, oh, you're an idiot. That never happened. Nothing got rolled back. I said, I didn't say it got rolled back. I said it never actually got into the chain. So now I said, but that's been fixed. I said, well, you tell me it's been fixed, but we don't really know.
Yeah, I've actually seen people who were doing transactions on Solana, and obviously they were comparing. We follow a lot of people in the Algorand ecosystem. They were doing them side by side with Algorand transactions, and they weren't failed transactions from Solana, but you were getting a lot of, I guess they would be considered failed or delayed. Like, they would say like, oh, try again. And then there was way more red X's that would pop up when trying to send. And this is from a wallet to wallet. This isn't, a Coinbase account to somewhere. This is just, a straight Solana wallet and using an Algorand wallet. And you really, have that intermittency with still Solana, even though it's fast. I mean, it's, it claims to be fast. Obviously, even I think the Circle CEO has been touting how fast, settlements for USDC can be on Solana. But at the end of the day, they're still, to me, Solana's still in beta. Like, they're still not even fully fledged. And yes, they've had, I think, 6 months, maybe 3 to 6 months of consistent uptime. But you still have to take into effect that we're in the bear market, right? What's Solana going to look like in the bull market when there's a lot of activity? And I actually wanted to get your thoughts on this because we've still seen some of the biggest networks. You have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, a lot of them that during the bull market, they struggle and they suffer, even with the ordinals dropping on Bitcoin, you had the network slowing down, stuff was, transactions were getting delayed a lot. How do these legacy systems actually scale, to, like you said, if we're going to see that increase of adoption and more people coming in, how does Bitcoin scale up? How does Ethereum scale up? Solana scale up to actually handle the real workload that I would say is actually out there?
Look, I think that is the $64 billion question. And I think we're going to find out. In Bitcoin's case, it's not going to happen at the base layer. It's just not, right? That's not its design. It's designed to be slow, but very secure, super secure, 0 failed transactions, 0 mistakes, 0 hacks, right? I mean, it's the most secure computing platform maybe on the planet, but it's not fast, and it's never going to be fast. So you're going to have to scale that with Lightning or L2s or L3s or even L4s at some point. And maybe that's all going to get developed. And we're investing in companies that are trying to do that. And I think that's very interesting. In Solana's case, so what happened is a lot of people just like bitched at me, right? Oh, you're an idiot. You're dead to me. You shouldn't even be allowed to talk about this. I'm like, well, okay, that's not helpful. Tell me why I'm wrong. I said, I'm happy to be wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Educate me. And I had one guy from the Netherlands actually say, hey, I'll set up a Zoom and I'll walk you through some stuff. And it was cool. He actually bought Yusko.sol and gave it to me. because someone's squatting on markyusko.sol. I'm like, the hell? Who took my name? But whoever has it, I'm not buying it from you. So, you could give it to me, but I'm not buying it from you. I guess I would pay him what him or her what they bought it for, but I'm not going to pay a bunch of money for my name. I don't really care. But it was cool. I mean, he did a really good job walking me through where the problems were, how things have gotten better, where there's some really new things that are being built, and showed me some stuff from a payments perspective. It was amazing. I mean, it was truly amazing. And then he's like, hey, and I talked to the guys, and they'll let you come to Breakpoint as a guest. I'm like, you know what? I do it. Now, me hanging with young guys and gals in the Netherlands, that's probably not good for my health. But what was cool is somebody from the Algorand space said, hey, you should sit down with John. And I would love to do that. So I actually think it's in the works to do a similar type of kind of update, but I think that's going to happen. We'll do the same thing on kind of getting me more up the curve on Algorand. But education, dialogue, debate, that's way better than, trolling somebody.
I definitely think, if you're going to talk to anybody in the Algorand sphere and in the influence of Algorand to talk about the tech and what Algorand is doing, there's no better person, than John Woods. He definitely knows his stuff, and he's honestly, I think, one of the lifelines for Algorand in this bear market to help it really get to where I would hope it needs to be, coming in the next 6 months, especially with incentivizing nodes, the one-click node, Python being now on Algorand. Like, there's a lot of updates that, it didn't have previously that I think John's definitely put a lot of work to getting to.
You just watched a clip from episode 76 of The Next Block. If you enjoyed this clip, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to ping that notification bell so you don't miss some of our fantastic upcoming episodes with Anthony Scaramucci, the founder of Skybridge Capital, Jerry Chu, the founder of Lofty AI, tokenizing real estate on the Algorand blockchain, and so many more fantastic guests. You're not going to want to miss those, so ping that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and then let us know down in the comments below who you want to see on the podcast next. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thanks.